Look upon the city. The ruin will kindle. The monsters you shepherd.
For madness drives you. In divine light, we stand together. Uncorrupted, we fight without fear. Never to bow down, never to be broken. We suffered your cruelty. Now, pray for our mercy!
Look upon the city. The ruin will kindle. The monsters you shepherd.
For madness drives you. In divine light, we stand together. Uncorrupted, we fight without fear. Never to bow down, never to be broken. We suffered your cruelty. Now, pray for our mercy!
Look upon the city. The ruin will kindle. The monsters you shepherd.
For madness drives you. In divine light, we stand together. Uncorrupted, we fight without fear. Never to bow down, never to be broken. We suffered your cruelty. Now, pray for our mercy!
Look upon the city. The who in your kingdom. The monsters you shepherd.
For madness drives you. In divine light, we stand together. Uncorrupted, we fight without fear. Never to bow down, never to be broken. We suffered your cruelty. Now, pray for our mercy!
Look upon the city. The who in your kingdom. The monsters you shepherd.
For madness drives you. In divine light, we stand together. Uncorrupted, we fight without fear. Never to bow down, never to be broken. We suffered your cruelty. Now, pray for our mercy!
Hey guys.
Hey guys.
Hi everyone. Long time no see. We're happy to be here. Thank you so much for joining the stream on Twitch, on YouTube. We're going to be actually seeing all your reactions today. We are Booming Tech, Porous Interactive. My name is Morgan Grat. I've been working with design, art teams, with marketing, and this is David. He's going to be our companion for today's stream regarding the Nirvana program, Nirvana campaign. And David is actually the senior coder, one of the engineering minds behind all this difficult technology of Conqueror's Blade and the Chaos Engine, and also the optimization campaign Nirvana that is all about today's topic.
Yeah.
So how's it going, David? How do you feel? On the new role. Yeah, I know.
I never streamed.
Yeah, for us guys, we have to go and apologize beforehand. We do not speak our native languages. We are not professional streamers. So we will try to deliver all the points that we wanted to share with you today during today's stream. And David, from his side, he's going to give a lot of details about the technical implementations of the Nirvana project, about the challenges that his team is facing and how they're overcoming those. And we're also going to talk about some of the design changes that are within the Nirvana optimization campaign. Also, during today's stream, we're going to talk about the new dedicated website of Nirvana, where you can register for the rewards that we have prepared to you. This is going to be like the last part of our stream when we're going to talk about that. And also, during the stream, there is going to be a moment when we will ask you to send your IDs, your in-game IDs and your servers, because for this stream, we do not do the Twitch drops, but we're gonna see all the IDs from your servers, and we're gonna select the majority of you. It's about 60 players that we are gonna distribute the rewards for this stream. So I think like this is pretty much the beginning, the introduction part. And guys, we just wanted to say big thank you for all the support that you have shown throughout the release of season Nightfall. We have released this season on September 14th. It's only been not yet 2 weeks. So we actually could take a look at the trailer of this season while prepare all the stuff regarding the stream together with you. So, David, about you, a couple of words. What do you think about the season that has been released recently?
Well, firstly, when I seen this trailer, so it occurred to me it's like armies from the heaven and with light, and with an epic war is waiting for us.
Okay, this is holy wars, right?
Yeah.
Purge the heretics. I don't know, like, but when we were designing this trailer, it always was giving me some Warhammer fantasy vibes. Because Warhammer universe much built their lore on these knightly orders, especially Space Marines. Yeah. So all the species during the trailer and the units that we brought, Tier 5 Zweihanders, the legendary sword that I know, guys, you've been asking for it to be the hero class, but actually at this point we're going to address a little bit later. Also, the first in the game T4 cavalry that wielding swords and shields, the Kriegsbrüders, and Tier 3, the first of their kind archers that can heal their allies, Schützeniers, if it's in German. And actually, some of you guys who speak German notice that we call the units Schützeniers. We added S in the end, but in German it shouldn't be added. But after consulting with our teams across the globe, publishing teams, they suggested that because we use the English version, so it should be like plural with S.
Okay.
So guys, sorry for that, but we decided to go with that name. Well, anyway, today's stream actually is not about the season. Regarding the season, if you want to know more about itself, about the design process of it, there is going to be an interesting interview following publishing in different regions. It's going to be published on different times. I would say that you follow the announcement of your publisher, but we're going to release the interview with one of the key people behind the season, behind Conqueror's Blade, our lead designer, associate producer, and he's going to be answering a few questions regarding how the season was designed, why certain changes being made, and there's going to be a matter about the new hero weapon disclosed during that interview. So this article is going to be published during this week. Stay tuned to the announcements.
Okay.
And guys, basically today's stream is all about this, Project Nirvana. So what Project Nirvana is basically a optimization campaign of hardware, of design, and it's all wrapped up with the players' community events that we want to actually share with you what is going on behind the curtains from the technical perspective, from the design perspective, because throughout many seasons we have realized that we have made a lot of mistakes. We also kind of chased the idea of bringing more and more content, more new hero unit abilities, then adding new game modes, new systems, and we actually lagged and failed to on the field of technical optimization, on the field of progression of characters, new player experience, reward distribution in the game, also some balancing, discommunication with the players. So during today's talk, we just wanted to explain and share with you that we are taking some commitment on our side of the team, and we set certain milestones. And it's not like we are bragging that, oh, we're going to do everything perfectly, everything smoothly, because it's going to be totally something unprecedented on our side to bring so many changes throughout this period of time. But what we can promise to you is that the whole team is totally committed to the fact that the game has been existed only because of the players, because of you, and we are acknowledging our past mistakes, and we want to show you the exact steps how we're going to be solving these problems, and we want to be transparent on this journey with you.
Yes.
So, before we begin to the details of Nirvana, we just wanted to share with you a few Steam reviews that we have received throughout the years, also during the recent times. And I think these reviews very much symbolize the status of the game, describes the current status. So if the Jessica, our video director, can switch to the Steam reviews, yeah. So David, we're going to begin with something soft, with something pleasant to see. Don't worry too much. It's going to get much worse very soon. So begin with something nice. So, I've never seen a game, anything like that is free. That's why I got interested in the first place. Okay, yeah, we tried to create something different from the market, and probably it's one of our saving throws that we have this kind of uniqueness of the game design. Next, as an excellent game, the amount of enthusiasm is very impressive. The graphics also is realistic. Okay, quite nice. This kind of my favorite reviews. People with 5,000 hours say, it's okay, but I need just a little bit more time to be sure. I hope that he got more confident about that. And this one is just perfect. 10,000 hours. It's okay.
I guess.
Yeah, and here is where the good reviews, we can probably stop on the last one that is going to give you the glimpse on the today's topic and the transition from, well, the game is kind of nice. It plays cool, but there is a problem. So the game variety is nice, but there are some problems about the game optimization, like unusual crashes, network stability. None of those are good.
Shit.
And now we get to the thing. If you want your CPU burnt to crisp, then play this game. 1. This game requires NASA's PC at least. You know, the company that launches rockets in the sky together with Elon Musk behind him, but still. means like the game is a little bit hardware heavy, huh? Then this one I like. Very classical in many games, actually.
Classic.
Yeah. Tutorial, how to play this game. Download the game, press play button, making character, exciting play, crushing and training 3 times. Uninstall. Hope it helps you. The game is super buggy. Game crashes sometimes after PvE or PvP battles. Also after you view your troops progress level menu. Also, my system is pretty decent. Very high system.
Very high.
i9 1660 Ti, all updated, but still problems. The game could attract more players, but the problem here is the game's graphics not optimal enough for players with decent PC laptop easily approach to the game. And actually, this is, guys, the truth. You know, like I think when we updated to Season Highlanders, Season 9 and Season 10, and different regions, like my office laptop, I couldn't start the game at that time. So all the hardware's requirements were getting higher. We had to catch up with that. The game's balance, one of the main topics. Most players are new, they don't have good units, while experienced players have. That makes them bored, and eventually you install the game. Actually, this feedback, we guys actually run a huge in-game survey with a few tens of thousand players. Also, we called by telephone to around like almost 100 players. Talked to them about like what are the problems about the game, how you feel about it. And you know, guys, what we've noticed is that even the most hardcore and most like loyal players who played like few thousand hours, they say, guys, you need to start thinking about the game progression and the balance for the new players, the progression for the new players. So a lot of these things being brought up even by the experienced players.
Yeah, that's right.
The game is unplayable, constant crashes. It took me 3 hours just to get in my first game. Well, good game, a little bit grindy, but the community, at least my alliance, are very friendly and approachable. That basically held my hand the whole experience. Only reason I downloaded this game because it's good, and that's 2 of my closest friends can't stop playing it, and we won't spend time together here anymore. 9 for gameplay, 0 for killing Thursdays with boys. And actually, I inserted this review. It's actually a positive review that is masked, that is only masked by being negative, but still, nice to hear. And same as like the positive review, it's kind of okay with 10,000 hours. Here is the like the most scary reviews that you can get.
Yeah.
Okay, and you know, guys, it's super cool to see the criticism that explains why the game is bad. What is the problem? What happened to you on your Steam reviews, on your feedback? That means that actually you care about the game, at least you have some feeling to the game. But this kind of review, you guys, when you just say, okay, or like whatever, it feels like this person is already cold to this game. And that means that...
he just left.
Yeah, we lost this person, yeah. And there are multiple reasons to that you have noticed and you knew for many seasons. That there is a list of problems that we realize that we haven't been addressing in full capability because we were prioritizing not the things that should have been prioritized, and maybe even some players say that we already doing these changes too late. But there is a list of things that we're trying to approach. So, David, you know that the design optimizations are going, but from your team, like there are also things like crashes.
Yes.
Network optimization, right? What else?
Yeah. And we have client size reduction and
client size reduction. Also, I think our team, because they're working with the optimization of Lightning, also the textures. Optimization size of that, and
most important, we are optimizing the frame rate and try to stabilize it.
Yeah, this is your headache. This is on your shoulders. not so easy. Yeah, guys. So basically, all of these directions of changes, we have realized that there is just too many things that should have been done, and we decided to wrap them up in a prolonged campaign of the length for the next few periods, with the certain milestones, with the first milestone being on November the 2nd. And we're going to talk in more details about this milestone. But to call this campaign, we decided to call it Nirvana campaign. Don't ask me the reasons why. There are a few references to that, but in the end, it sounds cool, and we hope to achieve some Nirvana in the end. So straight after the season release, actually, we have announced our first steps with the Nirvana. That some of you guys have probably already saw this article when we shared some first very minor, very small things that we did. And some of the players, actually, David, they saw this announcement like after 2 days when we announced Nirvana project, and they say, hey, if you did this in 2 days, how much can you do that in much longer time? But just to clarify, guys, those changes on the first milestone Journal 1 of Nirvana, they were being prepared by like a team of dedicated people before the season Nightfall release. So we actually held these and just reported to you the changes that we implemented on the seasonal release. So David here can actually tell in a little bit details what have been done, if you don't mind, regarding the first part. And after we will talk about the first steps, then we will proceed with our future plans.
Okay. Since the launch of the season Nightfall, and we have reduced the video memory usage of to 1.5 gigabytes in Conqueror city, and in other levels we reduce it by 1 gigabytes. And from the collection of crash dumps, we can see that reduction in video memory usage it enhances the client stability and result in fewer crashes and forced closings.
Yeah, actually, guys, you know, like one of the points David just mentioned regarding the client size and all these small optimizations, it may seem like a very abstract thing, and actually one detail that we haven't announced in any article yet, but I think like it's proper to mention during the stream, is that based on our data during the first 48 hours after the seasonal release, the amount of crashes that our system has registered was 52% less than during the previous season compared to the total amount of players. So actually those things that being done behind the curtains, while they seem kind of abstract, they actually already led to some certain positive changes. But again, from the other side, David, when I just started playing the new season, for 5 hours, I was using this exact laptop that is on this table, and I couldn't get into the game. Every time I select my character, and I'm about to jump to the Conqueror city, I was dropping, I was crashing, my game was crashing. Hopefully to me, the problem was solved pretty quickly within that day. But guys, we just wanted to be transparent with you that we know that a lot of technical problems do exist with this game, and we know that like we're trying to solve them now as soon as possible, but we're not going to pretend that everything is very nice.
Yes.
What we want to promise to you and commit to you during today's stream, upcoming campaign, is that we're going to be transparent with you with all the problems that we're encountering, and sometimes we will achieve this result. If not, then we will take the consequences for this loss, and we will still approach solving these problems. So, David, for the future of Nirvana, as mentioned, guys, the optimization campaign of Nirvana is going to actually touch a few directions of game development, design, then hardware optimization, frame rates, network optimization, client size, art assets, also lighting effects, audio optimization, and so on and so forth. So we're going to be giving you all the details throughout the campaign with milestones, with the first milestone being on November the 2nd.
Okay.
Not to frighten you with too much information, in the end of the stream we're going to announce and show you the web resource, a website where you can follow all the milestones, all the promises, all the rewards that you can get from the campaign. So don't worry about that. And we just wanted first to touch a few parts about the November the 2nd comprehensive commitments from our side regarding the matters of balance and the game design. So one of the main aspects that all the players complaining is that the balance should be optimized, also the changes of the balance that we make always are disconnected from the player's feedback, for
Yes.
player's opinion. So we felt like there is a big disconnect of communication between the players and the game designers. And what we are promising, guys, that all the announcement of balancing changes are not going to be brought like one day before the actual change begins. That makes everyone like, oh my God, who did this? Why did you do that? So we actually made it clear within the team that the combat designers, they need to explain in very detail why certain change is happening, and if they cannot pursue the team itself, then we also cannot bring this change to the players. So the next part of this section is that for the same sake, we are going to be using PTR test servers where you can join and actually test the upcoming balance changes. So, and based on the feedback, based on the service from the PTR, we're going to be actually taking this into more consideration throughout the process of balancing the game. And the third part is that quite painful for many players is that we sometimes nerfed some units. And guys, you know, like I see the data with the other people, and we know, okay, this unit has a problem. But when it's nerfed very quickly, some people just unlock this unit and they feel like, oh my God, why did I spend so much time on this unit?
Yeah.
I cannot get the doctrines back. I don't have doctrine water. And also, if it happens to the heroes, then also they lost time, they lost resources. So we promise that if any nerfs are happening, then we're going to make sure that all the doctrine water, or there is a special item that lets you remove all the doctrines from the unit, also to replace your skill points for hero, are going to be delivered to you. So we are sorry that we didn't always consider this point. Like with some units we did, but sometimes we felt like, wow, this is obvious change. We had to do that because the unit is broken. Yeah. But we know that it's quite painful to waste time on the unit and then get to this result. And another thing that also warms my heart, to be honest, a little bit, is that we are very much committed to change the direction of how we distribute the rewards between different game modes, because in recent time we added lots of different PvE modes or some limited time activities, and we set some exclusive rewards for these game modes. And at some point it was like some kind of a job for everyone, for ourselves as a player. Oh, I need to go inside of the game and just to farm this level that I don't find to be so interesting, but I need that reward that the developer just put them as like a carrot. Mm-hmm. So we realized that this practice is actually not very natural. It's not something that a fun game should have. So we are, throughout the following updates, going to be switching from this direction. And our focus now is to let you to decide what game mode you want to play, and you don't need to be like feeling like you're pushed to certain game mode, some PvE or whatever you like. You can just play sieges, then get the rewards with the added systems like supply orders and so on. Well, if for the design, guys, I would say that if looking at the last slide, there is and more to be announced, because there are actually 3 more points that we decided to remove from today's agenda, because those are like bigger systems and bigger changes that take more time, and we do not want to announce this before actually being ready to publish it, to test it and to publish it. But there are like changes to the core design system, the big ones, the biggest systems, that are going to be also within Nirvana campaign, but not for the first milestone of the November 2nd. So I ask for your understanding with that. We don't want to sound like, well, we give promises that we cannot deliver, so we want to be very careful with what we promise. And now to the part of David, the lots of fun, you know. Well, usually, guys, you know, like from our perspective of a player, it doesn't matter what's going on behind the curtains, all the difficulties, all the technical stuff, because for any player, because David is a player, I'm a player, we all are playing different games, we usually do not care about all these things. What we need is just a smoothly running game that is just nice frames per second, everything is perfect. And at the same time, you know, guys, we wanted to create this atmosphere with you throughout these upcoming months is when we're going to be making more of these streams, more of these live sessions for you to understand where all these challenges, where all of these issues that we are facing, that we are trying to solve are coming from. So David actually can share the pain of his team that is brought by the designers, by the artists, by the producers. Bring it on, David. Just don't hold yourself.
Our game was developed and started developing since 2011, and by that time we don't have available engine for our design goals. Our designers want an epic war on a battlefield. You know, thousands of soldiers.
Millions of soldiers. Yeah.
And so we developed our home-built engine. And then they want independent AI and animations and pathfinding.
So the pressure was rising. The requests were like higher and higher.
You can implement in 1 week. You used to implement it as a whole, but you can just separate them, right?
They made a design document in 2 hours. You can make it in 1 week, right?
Yeah.
So what's the problem?
So we add an independent AIs, and then they ask for destructions. Say in the battlefield, the wall can be destructed.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we have to add destruction physics with multiple fracture elements, and then the gameplay come to play. The destructed walls must allow the soldier to pass.
Fast fighting,
Yeah, so we implemented a dynamic pathfinding technology. Usual pathfinding which requires offline baking of the navigation mesh, but we did it in runtime for this.
To calculate all the data, all the pathfinding in online environment.
Yeah. And as we have many ranged units, so we have thousands of flying bullets and arrows.
So all of these are calculated in real time with physics.
Yeah.
This is actually, guys, one of the. It sounds like a small thing, like someone is shooting some arrow.
Yes.
But on the server side, it's actually quite extensive work, because we are also not an fully RTS game. We have a lot of action elements. So all the calculations of precision, it's an action game. It should be calculated, and this is one of the reasons probably why there is no such game as Conqueror's Blade on the market on the full-scale action RTS mixture with so many units. So this puts a lot of pressure to David's team. And also, I remember the story about the dynamic weather.
Yeah, because our producer said a modern game cannot be without this. So
it's a fair request. It's a fair request, okay?
Yeah, so he insists we should have dynamic weather and daytime.
And it should actually influence the data and the gameplay.
Yeah, and it's reasonable. An epic war should fight from day to night.
From day to night, and then again and again. Okay.
Yeah. So the lights are dynamic, and then because we are an online game, we must replicate all the units in a battlefield. So the network synchronization is a huge challenge.
Yeah, I think like anyone who worked a little bit, even if they just played with different engines, they know the difference between creating like a single-player game and the multiplayer online game, especially if the scale is quite high. So like the complexity is getting higher, much higher.
And lastly, our artists devotes really much effort to our units. They designed all varieties of the units, and they have attires, so the memory load is high.
Yeah,
video memory load is high.
Actually, guys, you may have noticed that there was a period in Conqueror's Blade. Excuse me, I just dropped my microphone. I'm sorry for this technical issue. So like there was a period like starting from S6 or something, when we started adding variety of soldiers for the same kind of a unit. So we started creating like 3-4 different variations of soldiers within one squad. Then we started adding more heavier visual effects also, and closer to like season 10, 11, like amount of the video memory load was so huge that we realized that we simply cannot continue adding so many textures to the video memory without impacting the lower hardware settings of our players. So basically the game was getting like bigger, more complex,
Yes.
but the reach of players who can play this game, it's, as that review said, you need NASA computer to play this
NASA
game.
computer.
So this was like one of the turning points where we realized that we need to start making compromises, because we are not a single player game, and like the visuals things, while they are very important, it's a PvP competitive game, and it's super important to assure that the stable framework is going to be there and to let you enjoy the game and competitive game on the any graphical settings. So this leads us, guys, to the few things that we're going to do regarding Nirvana campaign optimization. So the first part is crashes and freezes.
Okay.
The second part is going to be regarding the network. Then
Yeah.
we're going to go to the frame rates.
Okay.
And then we're going to jump to the milestones, rewards, and the sweetest part of it. So the scene is yours, David. Let's go.
Okay, so for the first part, the crashes and freezes, we have improved our crash collecting mechanisms this season. We have two mechanisms. One is automated collection from our crash dump handler, and the other is reports from players. For the automatic collection, we add more information, such as device removed from DX11, and the log, and the memory depletion, the log. And so we have tags on our crash dumps, and then we do data mining on those collected crashes to pinpoint the bugs. And the most important is our prior goal is to significant reduction in crash occurrences.
Yeah, especially for the ranked matches.
Yeah.
Because they are influencing the all the ratings of the players, and it's like not a casual play.
Yes.
People taking this really seriously. So on this part, we'll try to do our best. Also, guys, David's team is working really hard on the network improvements, and this is one of the points for the upcoming months. So,
Yes.
David, if you can give some technical details, that would
Okay.
be really cool.
Because many players have reported that they dropped when they are loading or when they just finishing the game. We have the data coming. So we found that the data transfer volume is huge when those at that times. So we are minimizing the data transfer volume while we still need to maintain smooth gaming. And we are improving reconnection experience for players, especially for ranked matches. Yeah.
So basically, players can more easily to jump back to the match if they are disconnected or something happened.
We want to make it you cannot sense it. Just if you just disconnect for just like 1 second, and it will reconnect back to the
Smoothly,
battlefield.
right?
Yeah,
You're not going to be
it.
dropped from the match.
Yeah.
Because this was one of the main complaints for quite a while, is that people are taking the game very seriously, and if some of your team members dropped, they
Yes.
cannot reconnect. Your team gets into the
You just
huge
can't win,
disadvantage.
yeah.
So we realize that this problem is there, guys, and we apologize that you have gone through all these crazy moments of experiencing that, wasting your time, your emotions. So
And we are implementing an automated detection of disconnection for those players who cannot reconnect back to the battlefield. We will give them compensations.
also gonna
Yeah.
help quite a bit. Yes. So guys, for the next point that we are obliged to deliver is the following. Before the November the 2nd, we are creating 2 benchmarks for our hardware performance. So basically, we know that it's going to be a tough thing because there is a lot of hardware developers, also different manufacturers, and many challenges that are ahead of us. But here is the benchmark that we are going to do our best to achieve. So the first one is minimum system requirements and the frame rates that we are aiming for. So it's the equivalence of i5 6400, 8 RAM, GTX 1050 Ti, and HDD disk is going to be all right. And this is for low graphical settings. Basically, if you have this computer and you just want to engage in competitive matches without any decrease of the latency of the frameworks and be competitive, so here's the computer that is going to be enough. So you're going to have 60 FPS before November the 2nd with only 1% of low FPS throughout whole the bandwidth size, and video RAM capacity consumption is going to be 3 gigabytes and 4.5 for your RAM. So this is the minimum requirements. Regarding the recommending specs, David.
Okay. Our recommended system requirements are equivalent to Intel i7 9700 and 16 gigabytes of RAM, and graphics card will be 1660 Ti and SSD. And so if you have this computer, when you can have high graphics quality and achieving an average frame rate of 60 FPS. And we ensure that the lowest frame rate doesn't drop below 45 FPS. And we will maintain VRAM usage below 4 gigabytes and RAM usage below 5 gigabytes.
Yes. So guys, with all being said, let's revamp a little bit. First, the frame rates for recommended systems, then minimum systems, network improvements, crashes and freezes, and some of the background that we mentioned. For all the sake of all these things, we have created a dedicated website, which the link you're gonna find within the description, and also we're gonna publish it in the article after this stream. Also, we're gonna revamp and talk about all the major announcement that we made today. We're gonna send the announcement on Steam, on Facebook, on Discord. So Project Nirvana website is designed with the following goal. Basically, we want to create a roadmap for our optimization campaign where you can see all the goals that we set with the timelines of it, when each timeline gonna be met. And on the left side, you see the red button, it's called support, but in the live version, it's gonna be called participate. So if you click this button, then you can register with your Booming Tech and NetEase accounts, link your account, and you are getting into the pool of registered users. So more users are supporting this program by registering on the website, the higher the rewards going to be. And regarding the rewards, we're going to talk just in a moment. So, very important part is that all the rewards in different regions, whether it's China mainland, Southeast Asia, North, South America, CIS, Europe, may be different due to publishing and other aspects. So please stay tuned to the announcement from your local region. So we are only covering the part about the Booming Tech servers in the China mainland. So the rewards are going to be distributed based on the amount of registered users on the website. So if we reach the amount of less than 100K, then we're going to distribute 300 treatises to all the registered players. Then if we reach 100K, then it's going to be 500 treatises. This number is going to be pretty quick to reach, actually. Regarding the 300K, then here is getting more interesting. We're going to distribute 450 million sovereigns to all the registered users. In Chinese renminbi, it's around 45 million.
Yeah.
Chinese renminbi, it's around like $7 million worth of sovereigns plus treatises. Plus, if we reach this number of 300,000 users, or when we reach this number, then we also activate the lucky draw, where we're gonna actually distribute 20 Huawei phones made 60, and or like NVIDIA GeForce 4070 cards, or if you would prefer some other similar gifts, it's also can be communicated. We can just find you something within the price range. And whether you are in China or you are in Korea or in Taiwan or Thailand, Japan, It doesn't matter. We will find a way how to deliver the stuff or buy it on your local distributors. So don't worry about that. And when we reach 400K registrations, then we're distributing 1.5 billion sovereigns with 10 million treatises, and we also create an exclusive attires to all the players' helmets. So 1.5 billion sovereigns, it's $22 million. $20 million looked with zero more beautiful on the background. So sorry for not being precise about that. But one detail, this is like the good case scenario for us as the developers. If we work hard, if we don't fail, but if we fail, yeah. And there are a lot of risks, guys, because as we said, you know, like in this campaign, we cannot just bluntly tell you like, oh, we promise you anything, we're gonna like do this so easily, everything is gonna be perfect, because we know that previously we promised some things that we didn't deliver. Me especially, I was like streaming some things, also talking about the design and talking to players like our current direction. Mm-hmm. But then some things internally happened and we had to change the direction, and players like, oh, you said certain things and now didn't deliver on the day. So yeah. We actually, not only myself, but the whole team knows that we need to be very careful with what we promise, and we know that there is a risk that we're going to fail with this 2nd November delivery. But even if we do, even if we cannot meet these these goals of optimization of frameworks, frames per second, excuse me, then we still distribute all these rewards based on the amount of registration, and we do extra. What we do is that if after the 2nd November we still are not there, then every day we're going to be sending in-game gifts to players who log into the game. So it's going to be optimization campaign interest pack with unit XP, scrolls mastery, treatises, and until we reach that goal, we're going to be sending all these gifts to you. And one more actually point is that is not added to this PPT, and but this is the truth, and we actually announced this for the China mainland community, because this is actually going to be happening here, as we are the developers from China. If we fail, we actually are dedicated to get the most expensive online advertisement that can be bought. Like, imagine yourself YouTube, but YouTube in China, Bilibili.com. And imagine yourself the most expensive place on that platform, like the top. That whole country wants to buy this advertisement on the top, because millions and millions, hundreds of millions users are there. So we're gonna buy that placement for a day that is gonna cost quite a lot, and we're gonna publish an apology to players. So it's kind of embarrassing, of course, for us. Also, it's going to cost a lot of money, but we decided that we need to give ourselves the pressure, because this kind of financial loss is going to also show, be projected to our lives, also to our reputation. Yeah. So we want to give ourselves a push with these possible losses, and well, if it happens, then it happens, guys. And I think it's going to be quite a show. But we realized that just for far too long, many of these issues being ignored, and when we prioritize certain decisions, we know that we made a lot of mistakes. This is like on the level of the production team, producers, developers, marketing, coders, artists. We all know that we could have done better. And if it's not too late, then the time is right now. We will do our best to bring this Nirvana campaign to life. We will try to make proper information about all this campaign. And before getting to the next part, guys, there is one more thing that I wanted to mention. Anyone who is watching this stream right now, you can just send your character ID on your server, write your server to the chat. We're going to collect those and distribute your in-game rewards for Booming Tech and China mainland servers. So, to get breathe out, David, from your perspective, from the perspective of your team, Like, can you share the opinions of your team about this campaign and what to expect?
Well, when we first heard of this campaign, it's quite unusual because I never heard of any dev team did such a thing that they make a bet with the players that we can
Betting with players.
yeah, betting with players that we can finish the optimization or not. Yeah, and we are working really hard to avoid the financial loss.
Yeah, like the main loss actually is going to be with this advertisement on Billy with apologies, but I think like the worst thing is just us
Yeah.
not being reacting to the current problem. So you know, guys, when we were discussing like, oh, should we just ignore these things or whatever, we realized that it's much better to give ourselves a shake, make it everything public, make it everything transparent with you, also to give ourselves some pressure and announce this campaign. So, as you see, we didn't talk much about the season. As I mentioned, like the interview with the creators of the season in the design team are going to be published this week in different regions at different time. And guys, if you have any questions regarding this campaign, like you can send them right here to the Twitch chat, YouTube. We're going to answer if you want to ask something. We're going to clarify some points. So feel free to ask your questions right now. I can see a lot of you guys sending your servers and your IDs. Thanks for that. We're going to collect those and distribute the rewards. And just feel free to use English, ask us any questions if you have regarding the Nirvana campaign. And join our Discord, official Discord. If you are from North America or CIS or from Europe, join the Discord of our publisher, My Games, over there. On our official Discord, we have a special dedicated chat area with Nirvana, so you can get announcement there. The first question is from Azaki, how to register for My Games version. So actually, we are very much grateful to our partners, to My Games, for also kind of giving us green light and supporting us with the idea of this campaign. And on their side, they are also preparing certain announcements and rewards campaigns for you guys that are going to be announced in the near future. So you can stay tuned to the announcement in corresponding channels and send all the questions over there. Regarding how to find your ID, you need to, Michael Dean, you need to go to the game, to your inventory, to the character, press P, and then you will see the ID of your character. A question from Matt Shin. What are you going to do for new player? Because unlock 15 seasons of unit isn't possible gap for a new player. Actually, Shin, it's actually a complex question that actually combines a couple of aspects. The first one is that the whole new player experience is something that we know should be improved to put the new players to be on the same competitive level. And it involves not only unlocking the units, but also how quickly you unlock the skills of your hero, how quickly you get the rewards, the bronze, the silver, honor, also how you're going to be matched against other players. So like even if we just take out this aspect of the fair matchmaking, this also contributes to this new player experience. And this is something that we're not going to be getting into deep details during today, but those things are being looked at. And regarding your questions of 15 seasonal units, to be fair, you don't need 15 seasonal units, units from 15 seasons to be competitive on the same level, because currently players are able to unlock like tier 5 units pretty quickly within a few hours. We're also improving this pace and giving players more rewards and more ways to unlock units that are within the meta. Also many of the meta units like tier 4 shields, tower shields from China, and other units like loyal guards, winged hussars, some other honor tree units are very competitive, and you do not necessarily need the seasonal units. So I think like it's very kind of important to understand that units that we bring not only for the sake of like, oh, they should be like cool and strong, but it's a variety. So you can not necessarily need to unlock all the units. If you like certain culture and this is maybe not the meta culture at the moment, you may still enjoy it, but usually there are options for you to be competitive. By the way, David, what kind of units do you usually...
My favorite?
Yeah, your favorites. I'm going to be collecting on the questions. Share with me.
I don't know the English name of the unit. It's the Berserker from the...
Berserkers.
Yeah, the Berserkers.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was doing the animation. Yeah, actually, Berserkers, I also have a lot of fun with that unit. Because I don't know, all this spirit that we were designing, like it's kind of enjoyable. But recently, it's not a very competitive unit for the majority of situations, especially with the tier 5. What other units do you play?
Remind me one from China, a Chinese unit which is called 雨林左卫. I don't know if it's English.
What is the type of the unit?
Archers.
Archers. Is this honor
And
tree
they can
unit?
shoot the rains of arrows.
Okay, it's honor tree unit, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's 祭司是吧？
Yeah.
他们帽子是知道的帽子。
Yeah.
It's imperial archers.
Ah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's actually one of the strongest archer units in the game to the moment. The stats are pretty high.
Yeah.
Also, I like their hats, really cool. One of the old units that actually look very pleasing.
Yeah.
So the next question is from the bear. Are there any plans in the work to revitalize territory wars? For example, closing regions. It is pretty stale at the moment with everyone spread across 3 regions. Yeah, guys, actually regarding territory wars, it's something that we are not ready to be discussing today in the details for the future. Just stay tuned for the future announcement, but we realize that there are many aspects that should be improved, and one of the things is that territory wars throughout like couple of years wasn't getting enough of attention from the design development team. So there are multiple challenges that we're facing there. For example, like you just mentioned, the bear just mentioned that 3 regions people are locked. Like one of the design problems that we face is that some servers, they have higher or lower online of users. So on some server there is like maybe like a few thousand players. On some servers there is more or less, and sometimes the gap is too big. And we cannot make the territory wars like separate builds for different servers to be dynamic based on how many people are there. So ideally, the territory wars regions, they would be scalable with bigger regions for bigger servers and smaller for smallers. But the current system that we are using and working with is dictates that we need to create one size that fits all. This is one of the challenges. Another, of course, is that there are like a lot of issues with the players abusing certain rules. We often ban these people, often some bans being unnoticed. We know that you guys being also noticing these problems. So we're not going to be getting into details about territory wars, but just to let you know that we are aware of that, and when we are ready to bring you some concrete actions, then we will talk about this later. Then Mask Flames is asking about why don't you host a LAN CBL with the challenge if you fail to bring Project Nirvana to success? So to run a tournament for Nirvana, if we bring or not. Well, actually, we did not think about connecting esports to Nirvana campaign, because Nirvana is still more like a design and hardware optimization with the network code. But the idea, well, maybe should consider it, but not within the near future. What do you think about the Espada Forest server? Do you think the number of players on that server can improve? Thank you. Like, Espada Forest is a quite challenging server for us because, again, because of the hardware requirements for our game. I think like this is one of the main reasons. Like you know that the South American game market is mostly dependent on mobile games and not so much on the PC, especially on high consumption on resources of computers. So South American market always been quite challenging to us, and we hope that with this Nirvana campaign, with the lowering the requirements for our hardware, also the South American players, more of them are going to come to the server. And you have noticed that throughout the years, no matter what happened with the Espada Forest server, we always tried to support the server, never abandoned it, and tried to support the community. I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but just recently, last month, from September 26 to from August 26 to September the 2nd, there was a tournament arranged by the community, by one of the streamers, Zombie Jab, I think. So players themselves organized a tournament. The organizers asked for the official support. We actually thought that it would be good to support our South American players. We also added the rewards to the prize pool. And you know, like this feeling of community, that organizing itself for competitive play, this is something that, you know, guys, we are just sitting there, oh my God, we just don't deserve this kind of players because of, we know how many things we screwed up, but still your support, your love, your organizing these events, we are so much grateful to you. And we're also trying to give it back with these kind of events like in South America. The next one is, what do you plan to do with players with many skill points, anything burned to spare skill points? I think like this is like some of the question that is being looked at, but I don't think that it's very major problem at the moment to discuss during this stream, mate. Territory wars questions are appearing. What is the recommended specs for 1440 60 FPS? I think that this is the question for David. If the resolution is not going to be the one that...
Currently, we are using the standardized environment to test, to make our performance test. So currently you can see in the recommendation specifications, we are limited to 1080 resolution, but later we will test for more resolutions and then provide more details on our website.
Hope that actually answers the question. Thanks, David. Amy Kazumi asked one technical question regarding the Nirvana website. Actually, he's trying to upload 2 pictures because his review is too long. Actually, David, Ayumi, you can actually upload the first part of your review. We will see the name, the screenshot, and we will find your reviews pretty easily. But we're also going to talk to our web team about this issue and try to resolve it to let you to upload 2 pictures. Is Nirvana campaign can affect next season development schedule? I don't want to delay season update while hoping successfully advance CB environment. Demonist 44. Well, actually, Nirvana project is going to be taking place throughout multiple seasons because we realized that we need to revamp majority of major systems in the game. Also the hardware, because as David mentioned, we used our own Chaos engine. Also a lot of junk systems, junk code, also some rushed decisions being made. So it's going to also influence the next season, but not in the way as it's going to delay the season or something like that. The thing is that the team that is working on Nirvana, they are actually being moved from other tasks that are not related to the seasonal development pace. Yeah. So you don't need to be worried about Nirvana influencing the development of the game itself. So, Memzafu, thank you for your approval. Then stop players from finishing the game, will give time to create more skins. Well, yeah, you know, like one of the viewers, Richard Rennis, he's saying that basically this is a very common commentary that a game developer making a lot of cosmetics in the game, they would better focus on optimization or something. The thing, guys, is that people who are creating cosmetics and attires are not anyhow related to the game code, to game development or game design. It's like totally different team, and you cannot say that if we have like some attires or cosmetics, this anyhow influences the optimization or the game code.
Yeah.
Like instead of cosmetics, maybe they would be drawing buildings or trees, but it's not like we're sacrificing more important things. Well, guys, I think like if you have a couple of more questions that we can answer, then we're happy to do that, and then let's get to it. With the skill points, Theo Slade, I just mentioned that this is being looked at, but it's not like the super high priority, but it's being discussed within the team, and we are thinking about the ways. All right. So, guys, I would suggest like if you have any questions about the Nirvana project itself, because like there is like so many questions, and you know, guys, that made me think, because like our streaming time is quite limited, and we only expected like to see like a few questions.
Yeah.
We already like answered I don't know, more than we expected to get. But I see, I'm going down through the chat and I see so many questions. So how about like these guys? You just go now to our official Discord and let's do the following. We will talk to community managers. We will create, we actually already have the Nirvana channel. So you just go to our official Discord, guys, of Booming, and go to Nirvana channel, and there is a chat. Also, if you like, we can create a new channel for you, new chat, where you can ask certain questions. And me, myself, also some other people, if they're available at the moment, we're gonna get to Discord within like the next 24, 48 hours, and we're gonna answer to each question that you have one by one. So I think like this is pretty much doable to do as soon as possible, because we're just launching this campaign and want to make everything clear. So, to revamp, new season has been released. Nirvana campaign, guys, thank you very much for actually giving us a chance, also to trying out this game when you just started playing, for continuing playing this game. And we know that it's going to be a very difficult pass on our side that we will try to accomplish. And the only thing that we promise is that we're going to dedicate ourselves to achieving this goal. No big promises about that. So behind that, this is yours. On the hardware and design part, this is our headache.
Yeah.
And if we fail, then blame us. We just want to make this game better, because in the beginning, the whole production team, like 2011, they just wanted to create something unusual. They didn't have tech for this, and we've got like a certain historical background that led us to this moment of goods and bads. Sometimes good decisions, sometimes not so good. But we still thank you for your support, guys, for all the stuff. Stay connected to our Facebook, to our YouTube. Go to Discord today, as I said. And we're going to be publishing the interview of the creators of the season, also the next steps and the revamp of this today's stream. So it was me, Morgan, and it was David. Thank you very much, guys, and we will see you within very short time on the chats, maybe right now in a few minutes on Discord, and within a matter of couple of days throughout the announcements. Everyone, thank you very much, and thank you for playing the game.
Thank you.
Faith is our torch in a land shrouded by darkness. Devotion, our shield against heretics and sin. By the sword shall we bring justice and forge a path through the night. And if our swords be not enough, let righteous flames bring light. Unto death shall we uphold all honor. Brother knights, ride forth into battle. Our time is at hand. Faith is our torch in a land shrouded by darkness. Devotion, our shield against heretics and sin. By the sword shall we bring justice and forge a path through the night. And if our swords be not enough, let righteous flames bring light. Unto death shall we uphold all honor. Brother knights, ride forth into battle. Our time